most trustless name in news.
Everyone is focused on Bitcoin right now due to the hype of a possible spot ETF launching at the end of this year or at the beginning of next year. Bitcoin has the spotlight, but if you want to make the biggest gains in crypto, you have to see what others don't because they are blinded by the light. I'm talking about seeing other spot ETFs coming for other crypto assets. What coins could be seeing ETFs next year? Find out in about 10 minutes because it's time for Chico Crypto. Yup, the granddaddy cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, could possibly see its first spot ETF this year instead of early next year like many predict. Scott Johnson, a notable finance attorney from Davis Polk, tweeted some interesting news. He said, November 2nd. I believe this is the first closed meeting of the commissioners since Grayscale appeal deadline expired and the mandate was delivered. Agenda includes resolving litigation claims and admin proceedings. There were leaks out of the closed meeting ahead of BITO launch. Yeah, this closed meeting contains two important topics. Number one, institution and settlement of administrative actions. And two, the resolution of litigation claims. Yeah, now the SEC decided not to contest U.S. Court of Appeals judgment, which favored Grayscale's bid to convert its GBTC Bitcoin Trust into a spot Bitcoin ETF. This is a potential clue that the SEC is on the path of approval, and that could come at this meeting November 2nd. Although this bull run won't just have Bitcoin seeing its first spot ETF, the second largest cryptocurrency could also see one too, and that is Ethereum. If you didn't know, in early October, Ethereum saw its first ETFs hit the market. Futures ETFs from VanEck, ProShares, and Bitwise. Getting futures contracts out in the wild is the first step in getting a spot ETH ETF launched. And let me tell you, a spot ETF for Ethereum isn't even close to priced in. So what's the status of Ethereum spot ETF? What are the details? Well, the same Grayscale, who has a closed meeting with the SEC for a Bitcoin ETF on October 2nd, filed with the SEC to convert its Ethereum trust Eth into an Ethereum spot ETF. And just last week, SEC filed and accepted their application, which means SEC has up to 240 days to review and make a decision, which would set the decision coming in late May of next year, although it can come earlier. And it just might, because the court has ruled against the SEC regarding Grayscale's conversion to a spot Bitcoin ETF. If the SEC finally bends the knee in November or latest earlier next year, there would be no reason for them not to do the same for Ethereum. And Grayscale isn't the only one gunning for this. Back in early September, VanEck and ARK Invest both filed for Ethereum spot ETFs. From the article, we can see that analyst James Seifert said, the spot Ethereum ETF race is officially on. It's early, but I'd estimate a final deadline on these applications to be around May 23, 2024. And then in late September, two more Ethereum ETF applications came in from Invesco and Galaxy Digital. So a good batch of Ethereum spot ETFs are rolling in, just like what happened with Bitcoin. Although, what about Blackrock, the financial giant that has a pending spot Bitcoin ETF? Are they going to file for an Ethereum ETF as well? Well, there isn't any leaks regarding this, but you can get an idea that they will file just from what CEO Larry Fink had to say regarding crypto. Let us listen in.
The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we could have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement.
Larry said the bond market is being transformed as we speak, and the future of financial markets is the tokenization of securities on a distributed ledger, aka a decentralized ledger. And Ethereum is the leader in this space. Just 3 weeks ago, it was announced that Blackrock tokenized shares on JP Morgan's Onyx blockchain. From the article, we can see it says BlackRock executed the transaction on JP Morgan's Ethereum-based Onyx blockchain and tokenized collateral network TCN. Yup, this is Ethereum-based. Now, this article on JP's tokenized collateral network sheds some big light on this. Tyrone Loban, head of Onyx digital assets at JP Morgan, said, over time, Onyx could potentially be a bridge that connects institutional investors with decentralized finance platforms in the crypto economy. With Onyx digital assets, we've created a tokenization platform that will ultimately enable trillions of dollars of traditional assets to be brought into the broader blockchain ecosystem, not only solving real-world financial services problems, but also providing an institutional scale Ethereum virtual machine based chain that is compatible with the innovation of DeFi. Eventually, JP's platform, which already tokenized BlackRock shares, will bridge to Ethereum DeFi. There is no doubt in my mind BlackRock is getting ready to file an Ethereum ETF application, and these ETFs will be passed after the Bitcoin ones. And I'm not the only one who thinks this. Famed investor Raoul Pal was just on a podcast a few days ago speaking on this topic. Here's what he had to say.
And then I guess as a corollary, what would you consider a successful or failed launch of the Bitcoin spot ETF at this point?
So look, that's just part of the trade agreement's going to come from TradFi to crypto economy. Just as this is one of them. The ETH spot ETF will happen as well.
Of course.
It'll be later, and everyone's going to, as soon as the Bitcoin one are done, they'll front run it by going to the ETH one because they know that's the next one. We will see that. We will see, the rise of the hedge fund industry, the capital coming in, the pension funds coming in. Matt Halstead and Mike from Texas Teachers are kind of showing the way and how that's done. So they're all coming.
The Ethereum ETF will come right after Bitcoin's. And right after Bitcoin's ETF launch, everyone is going to dive into Ethereum because they know it's next. So my friends, you can try and front run once the BTC ETF goes live, or you can front run the front runners by stacking ETH right now. Everyone is underestimating ETH, but when you look between the lines and realize Ethereum is the key to tokenization of traditional finance and securities, you get it. So Bitcoin and Ethereum are primed and set for ETFs, but let's speculate a little further and make some predictions on the altcoins that could be after. To do this, we need to understand Grayscale has won in court against the SEC regarding crypto ETFs. They have investment products that can easily be converted into ETFs. Thus, we should look at the crypto investment products they have that have the most value locked in them, as these would be the most likely the first to convert. Going to Grayscale's website, we can see that after Bitcoin and Ethereum, the most valuable investment products they have are forks of Ethereum and Bitcoin. Litecoin, a fork of Bitcoin with over 103 million in assets under management, and then Ethereum Classic, a fork of Ethereum with 194 million AUM. These would likely fall into the category of easy acceptance by the SEC if they accept Bitcoin and Ethereum, because they are forks of them. Thus, I would expect these to be the next ETFs Grayscale files for conversion. But after these, we can see the next biggest altcoin investment products they have are Bitcoin Cash with over 74 million AUM, Zcash with over 9 million, and then Stellar Lumens with 8.7 million. These 5 will be the first, in my opinion, to get an ETF after Bitcoin and ETH. But there is no doubt in my mind, once the ETF ball gets rolling, eventually all of Grayscale's crypto products will be applying for ETFs. That includes Basic Attention Token, Chainlink, Decentraland, Filecoin, Horizon, LivePeer, and Solana. So what do you guys think? Will the Bitcoin ETF be approved this year or next? Will Ethereum be approved alongside Bitcoin, or will it be down the road? Or will it even happen? Let me know down in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe and like the video. Cheers, I'll see you next time.
The most trustless name in news.